Oh, hello, Dave.
Hello.
Hello. So this is Dave Beckson. And we're going to look at Dave Beckson's Cardenio, which has been crafted through your process of channeling. And it stands as both a dramatic exploration of the human spirit, but also a tribute to Shakespeare's literary legacy. Through vivid scenes of conflict, reflective monologues, and a richly poetic style, Cardenio mirrors very, very well Shakespeare's mastery of language and structure. From the rhythm of iambic pentameters to the use of dramatic irony, the work resonates with the bard's timeless influence. So today we're going to delve into the composition of Cardenio, sharing insights into its Shakespearean parallels, its exploration of profound themes and creative process that brought it to life. In the opening act, Cardenio, as a character, is introduced as a deeply conflicted person, grappling with humanity and power. How does the structure of the opening, particularly in its language and tone, set the stage for the Shakespearean elements that follows in the rest of the Cardenio script?
Well, as with most William Shakespeare plays, certainly the tragedy plays, there's always conflict between good and evil. And most of the William Shakespeare plays are set in deeply religious times where people had profound faith and believed in darkness and believed in good as well. But if I can remember a bit of what was written there, I transcribed a few lines to show the conflict between good and evil, and the conflict within Cardenio himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, mirror be thy night, that wanton stranger that looks upon me, that unedifying of sublime darkness in that unequivocal conscription of fortitude, that deconscripted sufferance of demons, and that array of angels, that divine benevolence. You see, within that there is conflict with his mind of what is good and what is evil.
Mm.
I mean, the mind of Cardenio is conflicted and represents the struggle of his soul and his descent into madness.
Yeah, and how do you feel that sets the tone, sets the stage for the Shakespearean elements that follow, in the Cardenio script?
Well, it is within many of the Shakespeare plays, Macbeth, Julius Caesar, Hamlet. They're all conflicted characters struggling with the demons within them, and it accelerates into nearly all of them into madness towards the end. But at the end, uh, evil has to be portrayed as being defeated, and with all of William Shakespeare plays, the good always overcomes evil, and it is always the the uh, the oppressor always ends up in a sticky end.
So I mean that really shows how it relates to the Shakespearean plays and tragedies that are out there. So the use of the iambic pentameter and the poetic phrasing is evident in Cardenio. We've talked about this a little bit off camera, haven't we?
Mm.
How did the rhythm of the words emerge during the channeling process, and how do you see this aligning with Shakespeare's stylistic patterns?
Well, in simplistic terms, I'm just channeling it. He's doing the work.
Well, it's funny because when we talked about this earlier, before we started recording this interview, you didn't even know what an iambic pentameter is.
No.
So the fact that Cardenio and you've channeled it, and it is comparable to how Shakespeare writes his plays with his poetic phrasing. You know, it's it's another piece of evidence, if you like, that this has really come from spirit. It's come through you as a vessel and
Yeah.
come into the physical realm from spirit.
Mm.
Um, so you made no effort on that whatsoever.
No, even though I've read many Shakespeare plays, I never took note of its structure.
Yeah. So, in terms of the question saying, how do you see this aligning with Shakespeare's stylistic patterns? That's something that you're not familiar with.
No.
It just happens by chance to compare very well.
That's the beauty of channeling.
isn't it? Yes. Okay, so Shakespeare often used dramatic irony to reveal deeper truths. In Cardenio, scenes like Cardenio's fatal confrontation with Giovanni carry layers of irony and tension. How do you see those? How did you see those moments develop as you were channeling? Did you take any notice of it? Did you notice it at all, or and then stepping back from that now, how do you see that they play in the exploration of themes of morality and redemption? That's obviously what Shakespeare often went into in his plays.
Well, that's an interesting question. I suppose I didn't really understand it till it was finished. And when it was finished, it surprised me that it was finished. I thought, is that it? Is it done? It is done. It was quite an amazing thing. But I only really understand the entirety of it if I read the thing from start to finish when it's actually complete. Because as it's coming, I never know what's going to come next.
Mm.
That was the first one. Since I've written others, I plan it out a bit more myself, so that I know the structure of it before it's actually finished. Although sometimes it goes off at different tangents because it's come through channel and that scene is gone and been replaced by another.
So you're not actually in control of it.
Not completely, no.
What elements of control would you say that you do have?
Uh, well, in all honesty, when I channeled Cardenio, I didn't know the characters' names. I channeled every character. I channeled every scene. I channeled every word. But now, if I'm working on a new project, I've been given carte blanche, if you like, to get the names of the characters together first, decides which scenes they're going to be in, and the structure of it comes from channel then.
So in terms of the structure, it's there. It comes from spirit,
Mm.
mostly, what you're saying, because it's very much dictated. Even if you plan it, it goes off on a different direction sometimes
It
anyway.
can do.
In terms of the irony, going back to the question, the dramatic irony to reveal the deeper truths, those moments developed through the channeling is what you're saying. There was no intention, no plan to develop anything. So the theme in exploring, of morality and redemption, that was already there in the universal design before it even came to you. That's not something that you plan in any structure,
No,
is it?
not at all. There are certain times when I choose not to use certain words. I think that people would question where that word came from or the use of it, particularly if it's a word of destruction, of anything dark. Sometimes I take it out, but I've been given a free hand to do that, which is very kind of William, I think.
Mm. So you have some editorial capacity.
I've been allowed that, yes. There is trust from spirit.
Yes. Well, that's interesting as well, because the next question is about themes like the reconciliation of shadow and light and the exploration of redemption.
Mm.
That's central to Cardenio, and it's also central to a lot of William Shakespeare work. So, how do you see those themes reflecting in the spirit of Shakespeare's work, such as Hamlet or The Tempest?
Well, I was given this message that I channeled last night. The dagger be the truth of the end, but the quill will come to the forefront of invention, and in that truth the time of death will prevail to those who have foretold their own destiny.
Okay. And what would you interpret that to mean?
Well, in a well-known phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword,
Mm.
and the dark characters within the Shakespeare plays have already know their own ending. They already know that the end is not going to be a good one. Macbeth, Hamlet, Richard III, they all know that they're going to have a short term upon the earth plane because of what they've done or what they're about to do.
Are you seeing that as a Shakespearean play character, or are you seeing it as in a human character? in the physical.
It's portraying throughout the historic Shakespeare plays, Richard III. I mean, they were all obviously real characters, so they're portraying, in some degree, of truth to the to what those characters were actually like.
Yeah, yeah. So his work, William Shakespeare's works, endure because they capture universal truths. How does Cardenio, through its poetic dialogue and dramatic structure, aim to connect with readers today? You know, what do you hope it contributes to the Shakespearean legacy?
Well, I'm really hoping that those who've read a lot of the Shakespeare plays will recognise the patterns of poetic substance and dramatic effects of light and darkness within the plays,
Mm.
the newer ones.
Universal truths
Mm,
in terms of what we experience here on the planet. You know,
mm.
but it's really interesting how it goes. It's not just the theme, the subject, the intense nature of how it's actually investigated and portrayed in the scripts, but it's also the language style. That's what gets me, the
Well,
language style, and it's all effortless.
well, if there's nothing else, and there is plenty else, the beauty is always within the words. Even if it's words of darkness, there is always words of light and truth within that darkness. And it is strange because if you look at Cardenio in comparison to a lot of the other Shakespeare plays, it's very simplistic. There's only, I believe, 6 to 8 characters, which is not many, not a complicated plot at all. So I'm thinking this must have been one of the very first plays, if not the first play that Shakespeare ever wrote, which is probably one of the reasons it got lost.
And perhaps one of the reasons why this is the very first play that you channeled.
Yes. Well, I knew it. I knew it to be a lost place, and
Yeah.
I thought, wouldn't it be fantastic to give the world something that had been lost for 400 years? I mean, who knows whether the original was actually word for word verbatim, or whether it is just something that has been created as something different.
Mm. And I guess we'll never know unless it's found. But this is exceptionally interesting. And this was the very first script that you wrote. So we'll do some more interviews because you've got so many more works that you've channeled. And some of them are on the No Mistakes Publishing website, but not all of them yet. It's certainly work in progress. And yeah, we'll do some more connections. So thank you very much. Have you got anything you want to add before we close the?
Oh, I would like to add something that I should ask you as a channeler, because it is not all about me. There is a group of us. You have a love for channeling Albert Einstein.
Oh yes,
You're
yes
working
I
on
do.
something right now, aren't you?
Well, it's interesting. I put it down a little while ago, and I haven't picked it up yet. I feel into the time of when it's ready to do so. The thing is with that is what I find is there's a lot of explanations on quantum design and theory that it blows me away. But I
Mm.
also have to go into total trust. I guess to draw a parallel with you and Shakespeare, you're channeling words that aren't currently in the English language.
Yes.
Yeah, when I'm channeling Albert and works from Nikola Tesla, for example, I'm channeling words that and concepts that I have no idea what it's talking about until I look at the internet and recognize that science has actually come some way to understand this area of what is being channeled. It's like we're being drip fed the leading edge,
Yeah.
so whatever's coming through on channel is always something that they're just about discovering, or the things that you can find are like pointing towards what you can channel. And I love it. Yeah, I really truly love it. So I think one of the things that I've been feeling to do is set up the No Mistakes Publishing website and encourage people who do channel and do channel works from other great artists of the past, to join us, to put them on there, put them on the website, and
most
let's see where
definitely.
this goes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the gift.
Well, you can't help but enjoy it, can you?
You can't
There's a
stop it.
sparkle to your eyes, and it's just like, oh my God, this is fantastic. This is awesome. But sometimes, you're channeling away and you're like, what am I doing this for? Why am I writing these reams and reams and reams and reams of things about the universe and quantum design and in-depth universal physics? And I don't know.
I know. Well, I've done a bit of that myself, and as I've written stuff, something new comes up, and I thought I must go back and review that and channel something else. But
Yeah.
we've written things that are not known to humanity through our scientist friends out there that have come through. We've been told what dark matter is, and humanity is struggling to discover what dark matter is. But we know, we've been told.
Yeah, well, we've had explanations. Yeah, it's interesting because I do feel that this material is to be shared, because I can't believe for 1 minute that we'd literally just sat here channeling all this stuff for just our own eyes and ears and nothing more than that. So that's why we've been setting up No Mistakes Publishing to get this stuff out there, to get it shared, and for people who are interested in this kind of work to come forward. The channelers and the people who are interested in reading it, come on forward. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. As I've
Right.
said to our friend Mark many times, I didn't do all this channeling to put books upon a shelf in my own library. It's to be out there for everybody to enjoy and understand.
Mm. I think understanding is sometimes it's a bit of a stretch, because you understand it in a flow. I don't know if it's the same with you. When I'm channeling from Albert, for example, as it flows, I have a huge understanding. But once it's flowed and it's gone, when I read it back, that understanding isn't as in depth as it was when I channeled it.
No,
It's
definitely.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you take a step back from it and it's like, did I really channel all of that? Did I really understand all of the layers of that as I was channeling it? Where did that come from? But, I mean, for the likes of, near death experiences and life between
Yeah.
lives, that I've had, you go into that universal space in the mind where everything is known, like the equations, the real complex equations. You just know that you know them all. You're in the space where everything is known. It's unbelievable. It's brilliant.
That's universal consciousness. It
Yeah.
is an incredible concept. Many
Yeah.
people won't really understand it, but this is what we're doing, trying to make other people understand that it's a real concept. It really exists, and anybody can connect with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we thoroughly encourage it. And if anybody's interested, we also let them know how to do it. We
Yeah.
have step-by-step guides on how to do it. So, well, thank you for mentioning that at the end of the interview. And we'll do another one sometime very soon.
Oh, fantastic.
All right. Take care, Dave.
Bless
Thank
you.
you.